Tonight, grieving families launched their own search for answers about a tragic crash in Mapleton Township that claimed the lives of 5 children. Good evening. There is still no indication from police tonight about what might have caused the horrible collision between an SUV and a van in Mapleton Township back on June 12th, which left 5 children dead and multiple others injured. Their families have now launched their own search for clues through a law firm, trying to find out if there's any other evidence out there. CTV's Heather Senerin reports.
It's been 6 weeks since a devastating crash near Mapleton. An SUV collided with a van at the intersection of 4th Line and Wellington Road 12 on June 12th, killing 5 siblings between 4 and 12 years old from the Dirksen family. Police have not confirmed the cause of the crash, but a lawyer hired by the family believes the SUV driver is at fault.
The SUV that struck them, unfortunately, ran a stop sign and collided with the rear of the Dirksen passenger van, which is unfortunately where the children were seated, who were tragically killed in this collision.
The siblings' parents and an older brother from the Dirksen family were also injured, and so were 2 members of the Barch family, all of them in the same van. Both families are represented by the personal injury law firm.
This has been an unimaginably difficult time for these families, and there were, of course, physical and emotional injuries as a result of this collision. All parties who survived the collision have been released from hospital.
The driver of the SUV, a 42-year-old Brampton man, died from his injuries in hospital. While OPP say the investigation is ongoing, the family's legal team is launching an independent effort to preserve fresh evidence, including dash cam or surveillance video.
We also like to collect information while memories are fresh, while video that could exist is still there to be had before it's recorded over, for example. So we like to reach out right away to the community to see what information they may have.
No lawsuit has been filed at this time, with the legal team stressing the priority is finding truth and clarity for the survivors.
The family has lived through one of the worst things any of us can imagine. So to have some better understanding, to help them reach some closure, to help them better understand what happened on that night would be very meaningful to them.
The families also asking for privacy as they continue to grieve. Heather Senerin, CTV News.
A warning, this next story contains video of an assault that some may find upsetting. Guelph Police Constable Corey McArthur is appealing the decision from his penalty hearing. Last Friday, McArthur was told he must resign in 7 days or be fired after pleading guilty to discreditable conduct for striking a teen who was handcuffed to a hospital bed back in 2016. That was an incident captured on security camera. This was McArthur's second penalty hearing after he successfully appealed the decision at the first. The second hearing took almost 2 years to complete. McArthur's lawyers say his actions were caused by undiagnosed and untreated post-traumatic stress disorder, while the police service argued he had a pattern of aggressive behavior and that his actions were a fundamental breach of public trust. McArthur has remained on the Guelph police payroll while the process unfolds. In 2025, he made more than $131,000, according to Ontario's Sunshine List. Well, new developments tonight in the expense scandal at Queen's Park as details emerge about another progressive Conservative MPP who paid back hotel expenses in Toronto, and questions also being raised about another cabinet minister's expenses in Florida. Here's CTV's John Woodward.
The Royal Sonesta Hotel in Yorkville boasts it offers stunning vistas of historic Queen's Park and the city's skyline from its rooftop pool. And that's one of the hotels stayed in by Associate Minister Charmaine Williams, billing $16,000 to her constituency association, though the PC party says in a statement MPP Williams reimbursed the riding association for accommodations many months ago. It's another wrinkle in an expenses scandal that has been roiling Queen's Park for weeks now, after it emerged that some government MPPs were taking advantage of a provision that let them bill taxpayers for hotels, even though they lived within 50 kilometers of the legislature.
It's like peeling an onion. More and more stuff comes out every day.
The Premier cut the provision, accepted Tourism Minister Stan Cho's resignation, and ordered a dozen MPPs to pay the money back. One of them, Brampton East MPP Hardeep Greywall, facing a new election finance complaint from the NDP about failing to declare advertising in a newspaper owned by his family, though he has said the bills were inadvertently not paid. They have since been paid, and I have reached out to Elections Ontario for further direction to rectify the situation. The NDP also flagging to the province's Integrity Commissioner expenses from the Constituency Association of Labour Minister David Piccini, including new revelations of more than $500 for meals at a Florida golf club and $1,800 on sushi rolling courses at Roll This Way. The party defending those expenses as events to thank volunteers and board members in Northumberland, Peterborough South, or in the rare case that they are travelling out of province. And pointing to other parties' expenses, including family members employed by some Liberal and NDP constituency associations, something Liberal leader John Fraser says is okay as long as they're put to work.
These aren't steak dinners, right? These aren't sushi rolling classes, right? They're campaigns where people have to work.
Work that he says isn't done from a Yorkville hotel. John Woodward, CTV News.
Turning to Ontario's wildfire situation, no new fires reported in the last 24 hours, and the number of active fires in the province has dropped slightly. There are still 177 active fires. 32 are not under control, but no new fires reported today. The flames and smoke have forced more than 1,800 people from their homes. Indigenous communities have been impacted the most. All but one of the 13 communities evacuated are First Nations. Some leaders have called for a public inquiry into the province's wildfire response, but the Premier says his government did everything it could. Early estimates suggest this is the most devastating wildfire season on record in Ontario. For weeks, residents in a Kitchener neighborhood have been watching a sinkhole grow to the point where it's swallowed part of their street. They say they've filed reports with the city, but didn't see any action until yesterday, when crews came by to block off that part of the road. As CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, it's the kind of experience that developers of a new AI platform hope cities can be nudged into dealing with more quickly.
4 sandbags sit on this painted piece of plywood, covering a sinking hole that's been slowly swallowing part of this Kitchener road.
There was a foot drop inside the hole, and all the asphalt went down inside.
Yvonne Poir has lived on Blucher Boulevard for more than a decade. She says she noticed a dip in the road a few weeks ago.
I called the city and said, hey, somebody might want to look at this before it gets any worse.
But she says nothing happened, and as time stretched on, so did the dip, disintegrating into a dangerous sinkhole just a few days ago.
I was afraid somebody's going in that hole.
Poir warned drivers in her own way, getting creative in response to the city's inaction. Finally, she took to social media.
So maybe if more people would complain about it, and the neighbors all called in as well, and within 2 hours somebody was out here after I posted it.
But it hasn't been fixed yet, prompting even more safety concerns.
The cars, this street, they think it's a freeway because they drive down it pretty fast sometimes. And then they have to slow down for that, if they do. And there's lots of little kids in the neighborhood that are curious about what's in a hole.
Residents here on Blucher Boulevard say they've filed reports and even contacted the city directly, but they feel the sinkhole safety hazard is not being prioritized. Councillor Stephanie Stretch tells CTV News the problem stems from a damaged pipe under the road. It'll have to be repaired first, and then the hole will be filled. The work is scheduled for next week.
Well, I'm sure they have a lot of holes and a lot of stuff to fix, but I think they need to kind of maybe prioritize which ones are more dangerous than other ones.
It's a common challenge that a Toronto-based developer hopes to solve, creating a tool using artificial intelligence to identify civic issues and notify the appropriate departments.
It will open right away the camera, and you point at a problem, whatever you have around you, in whatever location you are in your city.
From there, the AI tool analyzes the photo and the problem at hand. Then it drafts a report to city staff and monitors its status.
As soon as you create a report in Kitchener or in the cities right now, you see the report right away. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to remember your service request number.
The program is not city-run or affiliated with city staff, but residents in Kitchener and Waterloo, along with other cities in Ontario, can use it.
My goal is to make sure every Canadian gets heard in 30 seconds or less. So it's completely free.
Alexandra Hollick, CTV News.
If you were thinking of taking a GO train this weekend, a heads up, trains will not be running this weekend along the Kitchener line because of construction. Metrolinx says buses will replace trains all weekend along the Kitchener line from Stratford through Kitchener and on to Mount Pleasant. Trains will only be running hourly on the portion of the line that's closer to Toronto between Mount Pleasant and Mount Dennis. And there will be no trains between Mount Dennis and Union. Buses will run from Kitchener to the Highway 407 bus terminal, where people can connect with the TTC to head downtown. There may be modified schedules as well along the Kitchener line on Monday as service is resuming following that construction break. Sizing up the future of a well-known site in St. Jacobs.
6 stories, I think, is going to look rather out of place in the village of St. Jacobs.
Just ahead, CTV's Jeff Pickle has more on the buzz about what's next for the beer garden site. Here's our satellite and radar, and yes, it is working. There's just nothing to pick up on that tonight because we've got a beautiful, clear sky right across the southern part of the province. Temperatures are not too bad, not too cool, not too warm. Just right, I would say. They're in the upper teens across most of southern Ontario. We've got 20 still this hour in Toronto. And here's a look at King Street East in Kitchener's Sports World area tonight. Lots of bollards, reduced lanes. If you've been down here lately, you know that a major road reconstruction project's underway. Big delays during the day as this is happening. Boulevards getting removed to widen the median, traffic signals being relocated, new pavements going down, new sidewalks and trails, new storm sewers. It's a massive project, and it runs from Deer Ridge to Sports World and on parts of Sports World Drive. All of this, by the way, expected to take until December to finish. So expect a lot of delays through the Deer Ridge and Sports World area in the months to come. Back in 2 minutes.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Well, it's a burning question in the village of St. Jacobs these days. What is going to be built at the former home of Village Beer Garden? Renderings of a multi-story tower have been popping up on the website of a local developer. But the township says nothing is official. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more.
It's turned into a local fascination. What's to become of the former Village Beer Garden location in the heart of the village of St. Jacobs?
This is the view, nicely out our front door. It's lots of construction, lots of work.
Once a popular restaurant known for bringing in dining domes during the pandemic, the site abruptly closed last year and the property was put up for sale. After sitting vacant, the former hub of downtown activity appears off the market.
It was awesome when it was functioning. It was quaint and it was unique and it was wonderful, but when it stopped functioning that way, then it became just empty lots in the middle of town.
Dan Vandermolen owns Change Lifestyle and Apparel across the street and says it's promising to hear something is being done with the property.
There's lots of other small towns and villages that are slowly dying, and we aren't because we have people committed to investing. So it's a challenge because nobody wants to do a big change like what is rendered.
On the website of local developer PMI, the renderings of what appears to be a 6-story mixed-use building. The township of Woolwich say no official plans have been submitted for consideration and therefore cannot comment. We reached out to PMI but did not get a response.
Yeah, and I don't think that like a huge residential would kind of fit with the way the buildings are.
It won't look bad, but it's gonna block off everywhere.
Many of those in the village say it's hard to picture a 6-story building in St. Jacobs.
6 stories, I think, is going to look rather out of place in the village of St. Jacobs. I mean, it's a beautiful little town, low buildings, there's nothing outrageously tall.
Vandermolen says the size of the proposal is an obvious issue, but says sometimes change is inevitable.
My initial thought is, as a business, we need investment in the village. We need long-term investment from people that are from within the community and the region.
With no detailed plans available and a lengthy approval process not even started, Vandermolen hopeful the rumor mill can calm down until more information is available. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, St. Jacobs.
Health officials in Huron County say they're retesting water samples after declaring 13 beaches unsafe for swimming because of elevated E. coli levels. CTV's Scott Miller has more on the warning.
For a hot, sunny day, it's pretty quiet at Goderic's beaches. The large warning sticker pasted over signs at the entrance to the beach might have something to do with it.
Pretty much all of the beaches, the public beaches that we tested over for E. coli.
Beach water sampling taken on Wednesday showed unsafe E. coli levels at all 13 Huron County beaches tested by the local health unit. The likely cause? Rainstorms that moved through the region on Tuesday.
Contamination is mostly through the stirring up of silt in the lake bed. However, there are other contamination sources that could lead to high E. coli levels. Things like a surge of runoff, a malfunctioning septic tank, wildlife, animal feces, and even swimmers can contribute to it as well.
While some of the beaches were just over the acceptable E. coli limit of 200 units per 100 milliliters, some were well over that number, namely Bayfield's main beach coming in at 971 units per 100 milliliters, which is the geometric mean of at least 5 samples per beach.
They're taking a risk if they want to swim. What could happen is that they could have diarrhea or get infections of the skin, nose, eyes, throat.
Grand Bend's main beach was deemed unsafe to swim on Wednesday, but has since been cleared to swim. All beaches tested in Bruce and Grey County are deemed safe for swimming too, but those beaches are only tested monthly, so some beaches haven't been sampled since mid-June. Little says whatever the numbers say, swimmers can and should protect themselves.
If you can't see your feet in waist-deep water, or if it's wavy, or if there has been a storm 24 to 48 hours before, then it's likely that E. coli levels are going to be high. So take precautions and just don't go in.
Retesting of Huron County's beaches took place today with results expected sometime on Saturday.
We're hoping the levels subside, but we won't know until we get those results.
In Godrich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
It may be the middle of July, but you can still lace up your skates and go for a spin outdoors in Kitchener. This synthetic ice rink is now set up outside Moose Winooski's at King and Sports World. It's a partnership with one of their retail neighbors, Pro Hockey Life. It is free and it's open from 11 in the morning until 11 at night for the summer. You just have to bring your own skates. Staff at Moose Winooski's say it could be a way for parents to squeeze in a bit more patio time while kids hit that synthetic ice. Well, later on CTV News, you've heard of those Catch the Ace local lotteries for charities. Wait until you hear just how successful one was in Sarnia this month. One big winner and one big cause winning big as well.
Well, we finished off the week with some sunshine, and that's going to continue into the weekend before some wet weather sweeps across the region. I'll have more on when later in the show during your full forecast.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, here we have a beautiful shot of the Deer Ridge Center in Kitchener, home of CTV. Alan Fraser getting us this beautiful shot this evening, and a nice kind of pastel color to the sky behind the center as the sun was setting tonight. We certainly had a beautiful evening right across southwestern Ontario after a couple of gorgeous days and temperatures that have been on the way up. But we've got the possibility of some rain this weekend to keep an eye out for when you're out and about tomorrow and Sunday. Here's Kara's map with our long-range forecast.
Well, Tony, beautiful sunshine to wrap up on a Friday and paired with some seasonal temperatures as well. And the sunshine isn't done with us just yet. Looking at our futurecast, as you can see around this 11 p.m. hour, not too much cloud coverage. We will see some increasing clouds over the next 24 hours. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see some scattered showers just moving through the region and through most of southwestern Ontario. By Sunday, though, there will be some more wet precipitation moving through the region, a little bit more hectic that point, scattered definitely. But but the sunshine will return, I promise. Looking at the overnight conditions tonight, a little bit warmer than we saw last night at 14 degrees, increasing clouds overnight, getting ready for that storm that we saw. As we can see in the graphic here, sunshine to start the day, a mix of sun and cloud. There is a chance for some showers in the afternoon as well as a risk of a thunderstorm, but the temperatures will stay warm, 26 degrees, feeling more like 32 though. Looking at our almanac, as we saw today, pretty right on par with what is normal for this time of year. An expected high of 26 degrees, an overnight low of 14, except for back in 2004 and 2015 when it was 7.6, and we're not too far off from that, so we could be setting a record in the coming years. We'll see. Sunrise 6:03, sunset 8:53, and our 7-day forecast. I promise that rain will be coming, and we're seeing that pretty much until the end of next week, but temperature is still staying really warm, getting up to 28 degrees on Monday. Overnight lows also increasing up to 17 overnight, so it's going to be warm nights as well. Lambton, Kent, Essex, very similar situation there. Showers for the weekend and to start the beginning of next week, rounding out Friday with some more showers. So if you love the rain, this is your week. It's coming. Monday there, though, going up to 31 degrees, so it's definitely going to be a warm one. And finally, in southern Georgian Bay, what can I say? Similar story. Showers to start off next week, but 29 degrees. As the week goes on, getting a little bit cooler, but still in those 20s, 25, 25, 26. Overnight lows getting all the way up to 20 degrees. Tony.
Karis, thank you so much and have a great weekend. And right now, the current temperature outside our studios in the Deer Ridge Center in Kitchener is 16 degrees. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
Well, finally for us, a massive jackpot was claimed this week in Sarnia. The Catch the Ace race lasted for weeks with a final prize of more than $4 million. Here's CTV's Sean Irvin now with more on everyone who's benefiting from this big fundraiser.
Inside Sarnia Branch 62 of the Royal Canadian Legion, a suddenly wealthy family entered late Thursday night. Ashley Norton was still stunned as he was shown his winning ticket in the Catch the Ace lottery.
This is worth $4.5 million right here.
That includes the weekly prize of more than $200,000 and the $4.3 million jackpot he collected by correctly finding the ace behind envelope 31.
He knew we were calling, and but it was still like a sense of total shock and disbelief.
Now, Ashley did decline the opportunity to speak with us, but we do know that he is overwhelmed by holding the ace to a new life in his hands. But the power of this card spreads beyond the winner. All those who waited in long lines for tickets can take solace in knowing half the pot is going back to the community. Local charities are expected to share in an estimated $3 million.
It's amazing the support we have, and we're so happy to be able to fulfill one of our pillars, which is to assist our community.
Like many legions, the Sarnia branch was struggling to survive before Catch the Ace began. Now it's fulfilling the mission of its founders, and with its share has plans to upgrade the building.
Because we've saved this place basically with the Catch the Ace, and it's fantastic.
Catch the Ace will continue this fall, with Lambton County residents now able to get tickets at any local Legion branch, not just in Sarnia. As for Ashley, there is no word on whether he'll play again, but it's fair to say he has plenty of new friends.
And I jokingly called him this morning and said, hey, we don't know each other, but I'm your long-lost brother. And he had a good laugh at that. I'm sure he's going to get lots of those calls.
In Sarnia, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
And that is a story with so many different good endings. Love to see it. Well, that's our time. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, July 24th. For all of us here at CTV News, have a great weekend, and you can get news anytime at ctvnewskitchener.ca. See you Monday. Good night.